This is the Frauscher 1414 Demon. Now, you don't name a boat Demon if it's some blend into the background wallflower. And sure enough, here in the surroundings of Port Adriano, it really looks like nothing else. But the question is, with a 2.5 metre rolling swell out there, does the seakeeping live up to that fantastic name? Now, in fact, it was so rough out there that we couldn't get anything meaningful to camera while we're out at sea, so we're going to have to talk about the sea handling back in here. But I have to say, considering quite how exposed and open this boat is, it handled those conditions really, really well. And the biggest surprise was how dry it is. It has a very sleek hull, as you've seen, but actually has a very prominent spray rail, and that does a fantastic job of keeping spray away from the boat in this very exposed cockpit. The other thing is, as you can see, I'm clear of the windscreen here, so to get the protection of the windscreen, you do have to sit down and hunker down under it. But as I said, it was so dry that actually I didn't feel I needed to sit down at all. Now, this boat has a pair of 400 horsepower Volvo Penta D6 diesels. Top speed on a good day is about 38 knots, but we didn't get any higher than 25 today. And if you choose the petrol version with a pair of 550s, you'll get 45 knots out of it as well. There are, however, a couple of changes I'd make. One would be that this bolster, though it's in a good position, there's quite a hard metal ridge under here, so when you're leaning on it and using it a lot like we're out there, it actually gets a bit uncomfortable, so they just need to add some padding there. The other thing is this white dash, it does look great. I love the bezeled dials here, but there's quite a lot of white plastic, so a little bit of deadening material to reduce the glare would certainly be welcome. And the final thing would be that you can hold on to the edge of the windscreen, you can hold on to this here, but it's a little bit low. I think another rail just here, something right in front of the navigator that you can really grip onto in rough weather would be welcome. When you've stopped hooning around out at sea though, this part of the boat is going to come to the fore. You don't really have much living space up in the bow, so you're going to spend your life here in this very sociable cockpit. It's also nicely sunken down as well, so you feel nice and cocoon, nice and protected. This table obviously folds out as well, so that you can make it a bit larger. You can actually take these leaves off as well and just have the drinks bar, so if you want a bit more space you can do that too. Out back, over the engine access, which means you do have to take the tender out, you have a tender garage beneath the sun pad and a very cool opening passerelle / ladder that gives you access down into the water or up onto the quayside. Of course, another focal point of this part of the boat is the wet bar here, so you can use the ice maker, the griddle, and serve this table very easily. Now, there are a few level changes in this cockpit. See, so I'm going down a couple of steps here, so you're going up and down and up against the helm. The reason is there's a surprisingly large master cabin below deck, so let's go and have a look at that. So the master cabin on board the Demon is a real surprise. I mean, it looks like a fast point-to-point day boat, but this is a genuinely usable and very comfortable cabin with a very wide bed, plenty of storage, not only behind me, but there's cupboards dotted either side as well. Headroom is very good by the door, and you can just about sit up here, as you can see. And next door, there's a fantastic bathroom too. Loads of headroom itself, plenty of natural light, and it's absolutely bursting with storage. Really adds to this boat's appeal. So this is the sort of layout that you imagine this boat to have. Master cabin aside, this is your main living area, this big, long living space, dining area, and also you have the table dropping down to convert into what will be a nice big double bed. Again, loads of headroom down here. It really is a usable space. It's not as compromised as you might think it is when you look at the boat from the outside. And the other thing is that the galley's really well spec'd. Sink, good storage, fridge, far more usable again than you think it would be on a boat of this style. These are a nice little touch, not something I've seen before. Little crystal tipped slots for you to keep wine glasses nice and still when you're using them out here, and actually there's a similar set of slots below decks in the galley, so you can keep them nicely tucked out of harm's way too. As you can see, there's no guardrails up here. There's a very small tow rail. In fact, there's nothing to hold on to until you get right up to the bow here, and you've got these rails either side next to the cleats. But this is an aesthetics first type of boat. You're just going to want to be well into the protection of the marina before you start crewing up on the bow. This is not a boat you buy because it's practical and sensible, though that being said, those cabins down below are surprisingly spacious and usable. No, this is a boat you buy because of its performance, the way it looks, it's cool, and its quayside cachet, and that it has in absolute spades.